Happy New Year, broski.
All
Happy
right. Happy New
2023.
Year.
This is
Wow. Welcome.
Wednesday,
Wow.
Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. What do you know?
Welcome back. Welcome back from the holiday break. Good to see you, broski. I hope it's been a great start to your new year. I really genuinely hope it is.
It's been a good January so far. I know you went out of town. You went back to Indiana. How was that, man?
Oh man, freaking cold. It's funny when you live there, you kind of don't realize how cold it is.
You don't
Okay? Growing up,
growing up. We
yeah,
didn't
growing
realize.
it was kind of just natural. It kind of just happens. Winter happens, you put on your jackets, like
Right.
you bundle up. Okay,
Simple.
living in California for about 5 years now, then going back to see my family during a winter storm. It was pretty cold.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say, man.
I bet you were hurting. I bet you were hurting. Definitely.
It got to negative 30
Yeah,
with the wind chill.
it's pretty
That is
abnormal.
cold.
That's
This
pretty.
Come here, buddy. Come here. This poor thing. She couldn't even go pee. She couldn't even
I
go pee
bet.
outside.
I bet.
She would shrivel up into a ball, and she'd basically be like, "Help me, help me."
Did you just
She's
put
so cute. She's
just
so
put
cute.
some newspaper down? Just put some newspaper down?
We don't. Nobody reads the newspaper anymore, so I don't know where you're getting that.
Well, my father does. My father gets it still.
Oh,
That's one of the first thing he
nice.
does in the morning. That's one of the first thing he does every morning. Get that paper off
On
the
the
porch.
shitter. On the shitter.
I think it starts on the shitter and finishes on the couch. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Saves the funnies for the couch. Listens, reads the news to help him push it out.
Maybe. I don't know the order that he does it, but
Surprised he hasn't told you. Surprised he hasn't told you. He's the guy that would be like, hey, bud.
Simple,
I was reading the funnies and I had to take a shit.
The South Bend Tribune, still a loyal member. Still a loyal member of the South Bend Tribune.
Okay. All right. Likes to read up on the Irish. Likes to read up on the Irish.
A lot of Irish stories.
Yeah.
A lot of Irish stories in there. But once again, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Was that supposed to come out? Was that supposed to actually like all right.
But Happy New Year. We're the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. We're gonna talk
Don't tell Mama. Don't tell
her.
Don't tell her anything.
I've told mine, but
you tell your mom about this?
Yeah, I
My
did.
mom don't know. My mom
doesn't know. I think you recorded the last one in her house, and she still don't know.
You don't know. She didn't ask.
Hey, if you don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
But we're gonna look at some week 18 matchups here. Not a lot of leagues go to week 18, but there are some out there that have 2 weeks for their championship. They combine week 17 and 18. That's not something that I've ever done or ever wanted to do.
No.
Because we're gonna see here when we talk about these matchups, a lot of guys are gonna be sitting out. A lot of guys are gonna be playing first half, get a big lead, and not play the second half. A lot of people are eliminated. People are locked into their seeds. No reason to play. So there's no reason you should have a week 18 championship.
Yeah, I completely agree because now you're expecting all your big dogs to be in the championship in for your championship game, and they're not even playing. No. So, it's a terrible week to play where you're going to play a bunch of scraps for your championship. You're just going to pick them up off waivers. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, you're going to have to. Yeah, no, I don't.
No, I'm glad we do what we do. I'm glad our league 17th week is our championship game. And then you get 1 week to just sit back, relax, and enjoy football.
Watch the games.
Going into the playoffs. Yeah, come on.
And we got some juicy ones here. We got some juicy ones in week 18.
Yeah.
We actually have a double. We actually have a doubleheader on Saturday night. The first game, just no Thursday night, no Monday night this week. 2 games on Saturday, the rest on Sunday.
Good.
2 games on Saturday.
I don't need it.
No reason for Thursday night this week.
Nah. I don't think there's no reason for Thursday night, period. Those games suck.
It was pretty bad this year.
But I like it.
Juice up those matchups. We're going to have to juice up those matchups next year.
Yeah. I definitely like watching football on Thursdays, though. I'm being a hypocrite there. It's after a hard day, like a long week, and you know that you can watch a football game before Friday. It's like, all right. All right.
Yeah, most of those matchups were pretty bad this year, but we'll see
Yeah.
for next year. We'll see for next year. But
Yeah.
starting with the Saturday games, we got the Chiefs at 13-3, looking to lock up a #1 seed again this year. They're going to take on Las Vegas in Las Vegas. 6-10, they're
Mhm.
eliminated.
Yeah.
Kansas City's a 9.5-point favorite. No doubt, I'm going with the Chiefs. This game has the highest total of the week at 52.5. So if you got guys in this game, fire them up. But I definitely have the Chiefs.
Do you think that Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelsey, do you think they're actually going to play? Like, do you think they'll be out there enough to
To
put up
to get
numbers?
they're still fighting for that 1 seed. The
Okay.
Bills, their
Okay.
schedule is yet to be determined for the Bills.
Yeah.
So I could see this being a first half scenario, then sitting out the second half for the Chiefs.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I would, yeah, if they're not gonna reschedule, sadly, that game that on Monday, Darren Hamlin, I literally got to a knee and prayed after when I saw him hit the ground, man. I think we
Yes,
can all
yes.
agree on that.
Very emotional.
Nothing funny about that. You know, it is a rough
Very
sport.
emotional. Yes.
Uh, it's you know, and it's crazy how we always talk about head injuries, right? We always talk about head injuries. This guy had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like like those pre-workouts. What if he was like jacked up on like pre-workout? This kid is young.
You
Like it
don't
makes
know.
me
Yeah.
it's find it hard to believe that you have a heart attack
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
such a young age, but it happens. It does
Just
happen.
just get hit at just get hit in the right spot during your right rhythm in your heartbeat, and I guess who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But I've got the Chiefs in this game.
Yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs. I'm never gonna bet no on the Chiefs.
No.
Out of how many weeks do we have here? 18 weeks. Every time that I do my matchups, I always pick the Chiefs to win. So yeah,
Smart
yeah,
decision. Smart decision.
yeah, yeah. It's the
Uh
easiest one you can pick.
the Saturday night primetime game, it's a juicy one. I'll be watching. It's gonna be on the big screen for me. We got my Titans. King
Big
Henry,
Titans fan.
King,
Big
King
Titans
Henry,
fan.
full participant in practice yesterday. King
That's
Henry,
good.
full
Good.
participant. He's going to be out there ready to go. Had a week off to rest. Titans are 7-9, going to play Jacksonville in Jacksonville, 8-8. Winner gets that 4 seed, gets the division crown. Winners in, losers probably going home. Titans are definitely going home. They lose. Jaguars have a scenario where they can still get in, but
Wow.
I doubt it.
Wow. Did not
Uh,
know that. Okay.
Jaguars are a 6-point home favorite. Tennessee's coming off 6 losses in a row. Who you got here?
Oh man, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me. I am going the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Last matchup, like this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a better game than the last matchup when the Jaguars just smoked you at home. They
bad,
just smoked you.
bad game.
Yeah, rolled you up, took a just one big hit, and that thing was done, toasted.
Roll them up.
Uh, it's gonna be a real good one. I love that Derrick Henry is back, considering that he missed last week. I'm sure that hurt a lot of people in the playoffs.
Oh, championship week. No Derrick Henry. Yeah, that sucks. Joshua Dobbs is going to make his second start. Didn't look terrible didn't look terrible last week against Dallas, but definitely the Jaguars should be favored and should win. But I'm going to stick with my Titans. You know, Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach. He's going to put together a hell of a game plan. The defense is going to step up, and Tennessee is going to get a hell of a win on Saturday night. Get ready. King Henry's going to run all over these boys.
Hey,
all over.
Did I not say? Hey, a couple of podcasts ago, it might have been last podcast actually. I actually said that, or no, I'm sorry, like 3 podcasts ago, because I said that Titans and the Jaguars, it is going to come down to the very last game of the season. It's going to come down to the very last game. Whoever wins that makes the playoffs.
It was a good call.
And boom, that's exactly what's happening. So go
Titans,
Jags.
The Titans were 7-3. I was sitting here saying it's a lock. Playoffs. We'll see you in January. I was sitting here saying it for sure. 7-3.
Yep.
Come on. 6 losses in a row. Backs against the wall. Underdog on the road. Look out. Saturday night prime time. Moving on to our Sunday games, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 8-8 going to play in Atlanta, 6-10. Atlanta's eliminated. Tampa Bay's locked in their seed, so I don't see any starters playing for the Buccaneers.
No.
Falcons are actually a 4-point home favorite in this game.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll because I don't think Tampa Bay is going to play their starters. They can't move up. They can't move down. I'm going Atlanta in this game.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Atlanta in this game. Not much more to say about this. I don't think the Bucks players are gonna play. Yeah, Falcons.
Moving on, we got the Patriots at 8-8 going to play Buffalo in Buffalo at 12-3. Buffalo's a 7.5-point favorite. Buffalo's playing for seeding. Pats can still get in.
Good game.
So everybody's going to be out there, but I got Buffalo in this one. 42.5-point over under. I might be taking the over on that. I like Buffalo to score some points here.
I think it's going to be a really good game. Patriots, fighting for the playoffs, and they have a good defense. They have a good defense. I think it will, but
in Buffalo,
I think Buffalo will win by like 10 points here. I think it can go into the fourth quarter, and that's it. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills.
Go Bills. Moving on, we got the Vikings at 12-4 going to play Chicago, 3-13. No Justin Fields, just announced today. Who is it? Nathan Peterman going to start? No doubt Vikings here.
Yep.
Vikings division champs.
Yeah. That's an easy one as well. Vikings, are they fighting for a higher seed? Because I don't even.
Possibly.
Bears suck. You can't pick the Bears on this. Let's just move on.
The Bears have the number 2 pick right. The Bears have the number 2 pick right now in the draft.
Nice.
Minnesota can possibly move up to 2, but sitting at 3 right now.
Okay, so the Bears are going to have the number 2 pick next year. You said so.
Right now, they have the number 2 pick. Who do I think they're taking?
Yeah, who would they take at number 2 after all these terrible picks these last few years?
Offensive lineman, defensive lineman.
I was going to say they're probably, even though they should go for maybe an offensive weapon to add to the arsenal of Justin Fields and try to move forward with the offense, they're probably going to go someone on defense, which cool. But why are we always going for defense? I understand that the Bears are all about, they've always been about defense.
Identity.
I get it. But we actually have a quarterback now that is an offensive player. So if you build around him in a league that you need to score, you can't just expect to get interceptions and fumbles. Build your offense. Just get a wide receiver from Alabama or something.
Those guys usually pan out. Speaking of wide receivers, just traded that 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool from Notre Dame to Pittsburgh. So just traded the 2nd-round pick for Chase Claypool. Hasn't worked out so far. So that might be the offensive weapon that you're talking about.
Okay. Let's see what Claypool can do next year. It was obviously I don't mind Claypool because he's not a bad player.
Double-digit touchdowns one year. Double-digit touchdowns one year.
But I'll tell you right now, he's not playing this week, so we should probably move on to the next game.
Bears suck. Ravens at 10-6 going to play in Cincinnati. Bengals are 11-4. Fresh legs. I got the Bengals in this one. 7-point home favorites.
Yeah, I like this divisional matchup. I think it'll be a good one. But I got the Bengals as well, just because they're full staffed. Like they're ready to go. They're ready for the playoffs here, and they probably want a higher seed. I bet that their seed matters in this one. So
Bengals are looking to lock the division in with a win here.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got a rematch from a tie, I believe, in week 1. The Texans and the Colts. Houston is 2-13-1. Colts are 4-11-1. Colts, one of the more disappointing teams of this season. Somehow are 2.5-point favorite in this game. I'm going Houston. Fuck the Colts. They suck.
You just don't like the Colts. You just hate the Colts, man. Being a Tennessee Titans fan.
Fuck the Colts. They suck. Who's even starting at quarterback? Sam Ellinger? I'm not even sure because Nick Foles got carted off last week. Matt Ryan's rocking in a rocking chair on somebody's front porch right now downtown Indy. He's not playing. So Colts suck. I'm going Houston Texans and a big win here to spoil someone's season and possibly lose their number 1 pick if they win, possibly.
This game sucks, so I really don't care at all. I might, when I'm making my this pick, I don't care enough to lose a point on it. I don't think I'll pick anybody.
You're just not even gonna pick anybody. Just leave it empty. Just an automatic loss. Just no. I don't want to do automatic 0.
I don't want to deal with it.
It's a nasty game.
I will go the Colts. Okay, and this is why I think the Texans are at that point now where they're like they want to lock in that number 1 pick, so they're going to lose on purpose.
That's a good point. It's a good point by you.
I'll take the Colts on this just because of that.
Fair. Moving on, we got a good one here. We got the Jets at 7-9 going to take on Miami at 8-8. Both these teams are still alive. Jets are a 1-point road favorite. We got the 3rd stringer, Skylar Thompson, slinging the rock for Miami. Might be an ugly game here. 38.5 point total. This one has a lot of implications, but not many juicy options. Toss up
Definitely
right here. With the 3rd stringer, that's tough.
Man. This is a game you want on your TV because they're both fighting for the playoffs. If they lose, they might be done.
Dolphins have lost 5 in a row. Dolphins on a 5-game losing streak.
Wow, that's. But the Jets aren't doing too hot lately either, huh? I think they've lost a few in a row as well. They're struggling.
Yeah.
But man, this one's tough. Who's starting for the Jets? Are we going Mitch White? Is it Mike White? Sorry.
Mitch White, Mike White, Matt White, Mark White, just an average white guy name.
Just put an M in there. Just put an M in there.
Just an average white guy name. I'm at. I mean, my name's Matt, so I'm in that category. I'm mistaken. The Jets have been eliminated.
Oh shit!
I'm mistaken. The Jets are actually out of things. So that makes me want to go Dolphins and Raheem Mostert coming off a big week last week, and of course Tyreek Hill. Definitely way more weapons on Miami's side at home.
Yeah. Dolphins. Let's specifically because of what you just said that the Jets are eliminated. The Dolphins are actually fighting for the playoffs. Go Dolphins.
Go Dolphins. Fun team to watch.
Yeah.
Next game, two Queef teams here. Panthers at 6-10 taking on the Saints at 7-9. Saints are a 3.5 point road favorite. Both teams don't matter. I'm going Saints at home though. Saints are better than the Panthers.
They are. I don't. There's nothing more to talk about. They're not fighting for the playoffs. Who cares?
I will say one thing though. Can you give me Taysom Hill's tight end rank on the season? What do you think that is?
Probably top 5 or something stupid.
As an Alvin Kamara owner, I'm so annoyed by Taysom Hill. He's tight end 5 on the season. It's ridiculous.
That sucks. I mean, the funny thing is that we're saying it sucks because it's against us because we don't have him on our fantasy team.
Sure,
but it's true. He doesn't play tight end. He gets the ball and runs it. He's a running back.
Yeah, he takes the snap. He takes the snap a lot.
He snap and runs with it. But it's just like it's a cheat for the. I'm not against it. I'm not saying I'm against it because I understand that's what he's about.
14
do what tight ends do.
14 carries last week. 14.
Yeah, that's a running back.
You have Alvin Kamara on your team. Give him a damn ball. Pisses me off.
Let's settle down. Let's settle down. The season's over, man. Season's over.
You're right. Time to look towards next year. But I got the Saints in this game. I don't know if you said
Saints.
Okay.
Yeah, I said the Saints. Yeah.
Looking on to the next game, we got the Brownies at 7-9 going to play at Pittsburgh at 8-8. There is still a scenario where the Steelers can get in. Okay, because of that, I'm going Steelers.
Going Steelers as well.
It's a crazy scenario here. If the Patriots and Dolphins both lose, the Steelers have to win. If the Steelers win and the Pats and Dolphins both lose, then they're in.
Wow.
So we both picked the Bills over the Pats, and if the Jets take down Miami, and then the Steelers win, then the Steelers are in. So
wow,
go Mike Tomlin. I know some people counted him out this year, but I know you weren't one of them. And he's a top 3 coach in the NFL.
I completely agree with that. Mike Tomlin he's incredible what he has done with the Steelers the past few seasons. The Steelers, when you look at them, they're not that good of a team. And you look specifically at the quarterback. Yeah, Big Ben, he was done. Big Ben's done. Now you have this rookie quarterback.
For a few years. Big Ben was done for a few years.
The only reason they're 8-8 is because you started Mitch Queef Trubisky in the beginning, which was a Queef decision. I will say that was a Queef decision, and that's why you're where you're at right now. But you can never count out the Steelers with Mike Tomlin. He is a top 3 coach. He always figures it out. Like I never bet. Yeah, I never count the Steelers out. Simple as that.
Yeah. Next game we want to talk about here. All those games we talked about there are in the morning window for Sunday. These next 5 games are in the afternoon window. We got the Chargers at 10-6 taking on Denver in Denver at 4-12. I'm actually going to be in attendance for this game. Okay.
Nice.
Chargers are somehow only a 1.5 point road favorite. Now they're in the 5 seed right now. They can possibly slip down to 6 with a loss. So you would rather stay in that 5 and play the winner of Tennessee Jacksonville than slip down to 6 and play one of those big dog teams there, Bengals, Bills, Chiefs. So Chargers are incentivized to win here. Denver sucks. Denver blows.
That sucks.
But I'm taking Chargers on the road. 1.5 point is not enough there. I'm taking Chargers.
Yeah, go Chargers. I live here in LA. And so if there's a team that I like to root for, I've always, I'm a Bears fan, but we suck. So I gotta.
What about the Raiders? What about the Raiders?
No. I've never been on the Rams bandwagon. I've never jumped on that. I like the Chargers. Justin Herbert's the man. I'm happy. I'm excited to see them in the playoffs this year. They're going to be fun to watch. Come on, let's see if they can get a win.
I've never seen the Chargers, so I'm excited to see Justin Herbert sling that thing to maybe Joshua Palmer. Joshua Palmer might catch one this week.
Oh yeah, is he in your lineup even though the season's over?
Not in my lineup. If I had a Week 18 lineup, no. But he was a solid player for a couple weeks there this year. He was a solid player for a couple weeks. Moving on, we got the Giants at 9-6-1 taking on Philly in Philly. They're 13-3, trying to lock up that number 1 seed. The NFC East is still available. So the Eagles are out there playing. Giants are locked in their seed, I believe, number 5. And nobody for the Giants are going to be playing, and that's told by Philly being favored by 14 points. So might be a blowout.
Eagles. Go Eagles. Even if it was a tight game, what's amazing is how the Eagles again are still looking really good with a backup quarterback. Do I have to say too? Gardner Minshew, it looks fine. He looks perfectly fine as the backup. Is this another Nick Foles? When Nick Foles came in 2017 for that championship, like the Eagles are good, man. You can't count them out right now.
It definitely could be a big dick Nick Foles situation here. He could. Jalen Hurts probably is in no rush to get back. And in half PPR scoring, we got AJ Brown as wide receiver 5 on the season. And what do you think Devontae Smith is at? Half PPR for Devontae Smith. AJ Brown's number 5. What do you think Devontae Smith's at?
I'm gonna go 11.
10. So
top 10er. Top 10.
So
Yeah.
the Eagles having 2 top 10 receivers. I didn't have AJ Brown in my top 10. I know that. So I was sleeping.
We were sleeping on Jalen Hurts being able to throw the ball, and he showed that he can do it. He showed he can do it, and then Gardner Minshew, he knows how to throw the ball too. So I like
fly
the Eagles,
fly Eagles fly.
They're fun to watch.
The Arizona Cardinals at 4-12 going to take on the 49ers in San Francisco, 12-4. 49ers are 14-point home favorites. This is going to be a blowout.
Yeah, 49ers for sure. The Cardinals are going to walk off of they're going to step out of their bus as soon as they get there, walk in a bunch of human feces because San Francisco is a shithole.
Wow.
And then they're going to walk over a homeless guy that is doing heroin. And they're going to say, where the hell are we? Where the hell are we? Then they go into the stadium and they're going to get their ass beat.
Yeah.
They have to walk back. And one of the players from the 49ers is going to sit next to that homeless guy. Oh, I'm sorry. One of the players from Arizona is going to sit next to that homeless guy and say, just let me stay here.
Yeah, he wants to stay. He doesn't want to go back to Arizona. He wants to stay in the feces. He wants to stay in the feces.
He's going to stay. He's going to stay with that homeless guy doing heroin, expecting the next share needles.
Do you think they got any antibacterial wipes on him to be able to pass that back and forth?
Oh, there's a there's a shortage of butt wipes and regular wipes in San Francisco. So
no.
You're not going to get clean needles, is what I'm saying.
Well, that's pretty dirty. San Francisco in a blowout.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got the Rams at 5-11 going to take on the Seahawks at 8-8. Seahawks can still get in there. They're 6.5-point home favorites, and I'm obviously taking the Seahawks.
Go Seahawks! I cannot believe that they're going to make the playoffs without Russell Wilson.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. Is he a top 3? Man, we gotta talk about coaches one of these days. Maybe we have a 5-minute break.
Big Bill's number 1.
I think so too. I would say Mike Tomlin number 2. I honestly think Mike Tomlin's number 2. You could say Andy Reid. Andy Reid would be the other one.
Andy Reid's got to be up there. Andy Reid's got to be up there.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we will have to do a deep dive and do a little coaches rankings. But I got Seattle
next week.
I got Seattle at home.
Seattle. Go Seattle. I hope they make the playoffs.
Next game, last game in the afternoon window on Sunday, we got them Cowboys at 12-4. Trying to take that NFC East crown. They're going to take on the Washington Salamanders at 7-8-1. Washington is eliminated because they suck as usual. It's solid season this year, but they're starting third stringer Sam Howell this week. So Cowboys.
That's an easy one. I don't think we need to talk anymore about
it. Moving on to maybe the juiciest game of the week.
I think this is the best game of the week, no doubt. This is the one this one for sure.
Both teams are 8-8, and I think everyone would say that they're surprised that both teams are 8-8. The Detroit Lions overachieving, and
awesome.
the Green Bay Packers queefing. Green Bay Packers are 4.5-point home favorites. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be there, but it's definitely going to be a factor for a team like Detroit who plays games in domes, plays their home games in a dome. And because of that, I'm actually going to go with Mr. Ayahuasca himself, Aaron Rodgers. Do you think that he's going to stay sober enough this week to pull out this W?
Sober or not, I think he's figured out his levels. I think he's figured out the doctors that were like, hey, man, maybe going out there drunk and on ayahuasca is not a good idea to play football.
That's what the doctor said.
But Aaron Rodgers is like, ayahuasca is what actually helps me to become the quarterback and MVP star that I am. And then maybe that's what it is. That doctor says, okay, well, you got to kind of even it out. So have chug back a couple brews
Okay.
before, and then they kind of leveled them out a little bit.
Okay. So he's still learning his levels, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think he's figured it out the past few weeks. But
they are on a winning streak, so it seems like he knows what he's doing. Seems like he knows his intake. Green Bay, if they win, they're in. If Detroit wins, they still need Seattle to lose to be in. Now, if Seattle and if the Seahawks and Lions both win, Seahawks are going in.
Wow.
And Detroit will be 9-8 and miss the playoffs. Detroit will be 9-8 and miss the playoffs.
If the Packers win, are the Seahawks out?
Good question. Let's see here, boys. See where those Packers are. Yeah. Giants are the 6th seed. I was mistaken earlier. Giants are locked in the 6th. So it's between the Seahawks, Lions, and Packers. Packers win, they're in. If the Seahawks and Lions win, then the Seahawks are in.
Wow. Wow, lots on the line here. You got to love this week of football. I am going the Packers on this at home.
Unfortunately,
it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold probably, and I bashed on Aaron Rodgers every episode, including this one.
Aaron Rodgers,
and he's going to freaking make the playoffs again. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. I don't care.
On a 4-game winning streak this last month, he's either gotten off the ayahuasca or he's just figured out how much he can play with. Over this last month, 4-game winning streak.
Exactly.
So that concludes our matchups of the week. To finish off here, we're going to give you a couple extra juicy dogs to finish up as we always do here. Now we've been pretty hot with a couple of these, guaranteeing some touchdowns, and we've been pretty hot. We're going to have to tally these up here after this week. We're going to have to tally these up and see who the extra juicy dog actually was. My quarterback for the week, no surprise here. He's the big dog, Patrick Mahomes. He's in the highest over under of the week at 52.5 points. 9.5 point favorite. He's throwing 3 touchdowns against the Raiders who don't give a damn. I mean, he could. Maybe. He could. Guaranteed.
First quarter.
Guaranteed 3 tutties from Patrick Mahomes this week. Raiders don't give a damn, and Chiefs are trying to get that 1 seed.
Yeah, I like it. My number 1 quarterback for Extra Juicy Dawgz is Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, man, against the Tennessee Titans. Okay, let's go back when he completely smashed the Titans. Trevor Lawrence had 368 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 35.7 fantasy points.
I believe QB1 of the week. I believe the big dog of the week.
Had to have been. This guy's going to go off again. Okay, if I'm telling you right now, if the Titans are going to somehow win this game, they have to keep up with Trevor Lawrence. That's what I'm projecting.
Yeah, possibly. They could make it ugly. Go Titans. Moving on to the extra juicy running back of the week. It's a guy who I drafted early this year. He had a great week last week. Finally, it was actually his second best game of the season last week. He had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. I got DeAndre Swift in that Sunday night juicy game against the Packers. I think he can catch one, no doubt. I'm going to my buddy Mr. Tuddy here for DeAndre Swift. Either rushing or receiving. I'm easily seeing one right here coming off 25.5 half PPR fantasy points last week. I think if Detroit wants to win, gonna have to get DeAndre Swift involved.
I agree with you on that. As far as my running back goes for extra juicy dog here, I'm going Najee Harris. Okay, Najee Harris. I know everyone who is a fantasy owner was probably disappointed. Okay, I'm not disappointed. Okay, because being a fantasy owner of Najee Harris, because he's been consistent.
Very consistent.
If you want 10, 11, well, obviously you want more, but a consistent 10 to 11 points every week. It's a flex. And just so we're clear, the last 4
Is it a flex if you're giving 10, 11, 12 a week? Because he's at RB15 right now. I think he's in your RB2.
I like it.
I'm taking Najee Harris in my RB2 all day with being RB15 on the season.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I totally forgot that he was ranked that high. So last 4 games, his average has been 14.85 fantasy points. You're happy with that. You're happy with that. He had
taking that all day.
And out of three out of those 4 games, he's had 3 touchdowns. I think he's scoring. That I am calling on my buddy Mr. Tuddy with Najee Harris, and this is official. This is official for our league. I have been considering Najee Harris as my keeper. We play a 2-keeper league, everybody. Once again, 2-keeper league. As one of those 2, I might be keeping Najee Harris, and I'm glad Sam decided that he did not want him, because it looks like I want him.
Back to back Queef of the Year. Sam didn't want Najee Harris this year. He had running back problems, and he didn't want him. And look what happens, Sam. You're gonna be wearing a diaper now with a binky in your mouth. Sorry about you, Queef. Back to back. Moving on to our extra juicy receivers of the week. This is going to be a popular game. We've already talked about this game in this segment, but I'm going Zay Jones for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes. In week 14, he had 8 catches for 77 and a tutty on 12 targets. Now that's more catches, yards, and targets than Christian Kirk. I don't know if the Titans shut down Christian Kirk, but Zay Jones was the one that got loose. And I'm also going to call on my buddy Mr. Tuddy here with Zay Jones, because the Titans are awful against receivers, I believe dead last. And Zay Jones is going to catch one this week.
I like that call on that. I think you could fire up any receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, because the Tennessee's passing defense sucks. My wide receiver for Extra Juicy Dawg this week is Allen Lazard. All right, I'm going to Allen Lazard. I think this is Aaron Rodgers' top weapon. Okay, Christian Watson right now has a hip injury. Okay, he left last week's game with a hip injury. Right now he's questionable. Even if he plays, I'd be hesitant on that. Like, I don't think I'd be starting Christian Watson, like thinking that he if he plays, I don't know. Who knows how many snaps he's getting. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have to put up a big game. The Lions are actually not very good against the quarterback. It's might be also the worst in the league, or the top 2 there. Allen Lazard is gonna have a good game.
Do you think Rodgers is going to share any of his ayahuasca with Allen Lazard?
I think he's been asking his entire team, "Hey, join me on this, so we can all be together as one." And but
like a cult.
Everyone's like, "Hey,"
it sounds like a cult now.
Exactly. I think we're onto something here.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. That's what he's starting. And Aaron Rodgers is the leader.
Slowly.
You know, he's
but
their god, basically. Yeah.
He goes on the
ayahuasca.
He goes on the Pat McAfee show every week, every Tuesday or whatever, and he's spreading it on there too, probably.
Oh yeah. Bring his whole flock. Flock.
Yeah. It sounds like a possible cult situation in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah, probably. Being a Packer, he probably packs his cup pretty thick. Try to make it look bigger. He's probably one of those guys that gets just stuffs a bunch of socks and 1-2
socks,
just jams it down there to,
gets a couple extra socks from the equipment manager. Yeah.
It's one of those cults that's how you know that he's the leader. He's not like the biggest and strongest. He's got the biggest fake penis that everyone believes it's real because they're all on ayahuasca.
Well, not a position I want to be in.
Nah. But they'll probably make the playoffs. So
yeah, winning they're in.
Yeah.
Moving on to the extra juicy tight end for this week. I've been riding this guy the last couple of weeks. I've been riding him in my lineup. I've been riding him in this segment. 5 tutties in the last 3 weeks. He's been tight end 1, tight end 2, and the week he wasn't, he caught a tutty still. George Kittle against Arizona, dead last against tight ends. 5 tutties these last 3 weeks. What more do you want from George Kittle?
It looks like the number 1 option with Debo out. I think that's what they're doing. Just give it to Kittle. So I think that's a great pick. And
what do you think George Kittle is on the season amongst tight ends and half PPR scoring?
Well, with 5 extra touchdowns in the past few games, I'm saying number 3.
Number 3, you are right.
There you go.
And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves right now because it's the first week of January, but he definitely is in keeper consideration for me. With how bad the tight end position is, only 5, 6 tight ends, maybe 5, 6 tight ends you want. I think you got to keep. I think you got to keep one if you have one.
Yeah. I like where your head's at. That's exciting.
Possibly, I want to see it done with Debo in the lineup. I want to see them both out there doing it.
Yep, good call on that. My tight end for Extra Juicy Dawg. Okay, and this shouldn't be a surprise the way that this guy's been playing week after week the past like 5 games when Jacksonville's been going on this hot streak to get into the playoffs. Evan Ingram. All right, Evan Ingram. Last game against the Tennessee Titans. Here we go again. 11 catches on 15 targets, 162 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. All right. And then 34.7 fantasy points. If you got a combo of Trevor Lawrence, who had 35.7, and then you have Evan Ingram with 34.7 that week,
you won. I believe Evan Ingram was also the tight end 1 on that week, the big dog tight end. That's a good call. We're projecting a lot of points in this matchup. If we got 3 guys in the extra juicy dog category here, but I'll be cheering for the Titans, even though I got Zay Jones as my receiver.
We'll see. Once again, if the Titans want to be able to win this game, they have to keep up with Trevor Lawrence. Yeah.
We'll see. It's going to be a good one.
Can Derrick Henry rush for 300 yards?
The count is on. The count starts now. That concludes our Extra Juicy Dawgz of the week, and that pretty much concludes the podcast for this week. It's week 18 now. We're gonna be getting into the playoffs, and we'll be talking about playoffs, but also right on our front doorstep is college basketball. We're into conference play. Conference play has started earlier these last couple seasons, but we're into January now. Conference play is underway. Look, speak of the devil.
Look at that! I got it for Christmas.
Speak of the devil.
My wife got me this for Christmas. I know it's fancy. It's fancy.
Nice.
Now, don't be looking at me like a fair weather fan.
Oh no,
producer that never won. You're just a fair weather fan. Right now. All right, graduate from Purdue University. You got to believe how excited I am this year to lose a few NBA players and still be number 1. Okay, now I do know they lost, so they're probably not going to be number 1 this week. But
just lost this week. They were the second last undefeated team to lose.
Yeah. No undefeated teams, by the way. New Mexico lost last night as well.
New Mexico went down last night, so now we have no undefeated teams.
No undefeated teams.
A possible new number 1 is obviously Houston, but it's also obviously the Kansas Jayhawks, the reigning national champions. Just got a big win last night, a 3-point win in Lubbock, Texas, against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. That's always a tough place to play. Pulled out a W there. Came back from 15 down at halftime against Oklahoma State on Saturday. I mean,
that's a big one.
1 loss in the season to Tennessee. Tennessee's huge. I didn't expect this out of the Jayhawks after losing Abaji and Brown to the NBA and big man David McCormick and spark plug Remy Martin off the bench is gone. I didn't expect this kind of season. But the Jayhawks are definitely a national title contender, and we're gonna be deep. We're gonna be digging deep into the Jayhawks and the Boilers for sure coming up. So if you're a college basketball fan, definitely stay with us. Definitely.
Yes, no doubt. It's a great year to listen to this as well, with Purdue and Kansas being top three teams, top
three
three.
teams
So we got a
currently.
lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about here. Go Boilers! Go Boilers!
Go Boilers! Go Boilers! Go Jayhawks!
Zach Edey, Player of the Year.
Player of the Year right now, the 7'4" Canadian monster. He is the Player of the Year right now, and if you tell me somebody else, I'm gonna slap you. If you tell me somebody else, okay, you're gonna get a front hand and then a back hand.
Give that to Zach. Give that to our buddy Zach Wadowski. How much shit he's talked about Edey. That doesn't like Edey.
Speaking of Zach, he'll be out here in Denver, Colorado on Friday, so I will let him know. And if he tells me any different, I'll get up for him.
Oh, how about that? Well, good. Say hi to him and give him a little slap. Give him a slap for me. So you got to slap him. You give him one, and then you come back with another from me.
That makes sense.
One for each cheek.
Okay, we talking cheeks on the face or cheeks on the butt?
Well, I was talking face, but if you're into that, you go for it.
Okay, nothing wrong with slapping another man on the ass. Nothing wrong with
just
that.
Make sure your fingers don't go in the crack. How about that?
Well, they might get lost and might be pretty stinky. All right, broski. Well,
okay.
Great talking this week, and we'll talk to you again probably next Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on Don't Tell Mama Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast.
Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Don't forget the name, and don't tell Mama.
Don't tell her about this. It can get a little dirty in here, and don't tell Aaron Rodgers either, because he's gonna be really pissed off about it.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers ever gets a hold of this, first off, I'd be honored. But second off, he probably wouldn't be too happy, would he? But don't come out as a role model and say you love ayahuasca. Then we wouldn't be talking about you.
Exactly. You walked into it.
You did it to yourself, Queef. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you next week.
Enjoy the games this weekend.